Fact is, you ought to look it up and start, because that's, man, I'm telling you, that started it. Though our civil joy for the repeal of the Stamp Act has been expressed in a decent, orderly way, it would be but a poor, pitiful thing should we rest here and not make our religious, grateful acknowledgments to the supreme ruler of the world, to whose superintending providence it is to be ascribed that we have had given us so great deliverance. Whatever were the means or instruments in order to this, that glorious being, capital B, whose throne is in the heavens and whose kingdom ruleth over all, had the chief hand herein. He sat at the helm and so governed all things relative to it as to bring it to this happy issue. It was under his all-wise overruling influence that a spirit was raised up in all the colonies, nobly to assert their freedom as men and English-born subs. What happened? God's spirit moved. You don't move unless his spirit moves. That's the whole gist of this thing. That's why we're getting fearful of what's happening to our country. Because will God's spirit move? If it don't move, you can forget it. His spirit's got to move. But you got to want it to move. You got to get the garbage out so it can move. They call us saints. If God be for us, who can be against us? The enemy has reproached us for calling on his name and professing our trust in him. Sound like today, doesn't it? Sure it does. They have made a mock of our solemn fast and every appearance of serious Christianity in the land. On this account, by way of contempt, they call us saints, and that they themselves may keep at the greatest distance from this character. Their mouths are full of horrid blasphemies, cursing and bitterness, and vent all the rage of malice and barbarity. And may we not be confident that the Most High, who regards these things, will vindicate his own honor and plead our righteous cause against such enemies to his government, as well as our liberties. Oh, may our camp be free from every accursed thing. May our land be purged from all its sins. May we be truly a holy people, and all our towns cities of righteousness. Samuel Langdon, president of Harvard College, Massachusetts, 1775. They come a long way. Yale came a long way. You know who made those colleges? Christian preachers. They weren't against education. They weren't against God's people. They felt that God's people ought to be the most knowledgeable. And God allowed them to do that because they believed God. And God opened up their minds, gave them cures, and gave them inventions that have never been done before in any country in the least amount of time. Neither the insults of oppressors, nor the flames of our once delightful habitations, nor even the innocent blood of our brethren slain, should move us to a murmuring word or an angry thought against God, his government, or providence. The more grievously we are smitten, the more deeply we are affected. The more carefully should we endeavor to realize our dependence upon God. Jonas Clark, April 19, 1776. Providence has designed this continent. By Samuel West, Dartmouth, Massachusetts, 1776. For my part, when I consider the dispensations of providence toward this land, ever since our fathers first settled in Plymouth, not Jamestown, I find abundant reason to conclude that the great sovereign of the universe has planted a vine in this American wilderness, which he has caused to take deep root, and it has filled the land, and that he will never suffer it to be plucked up or destroyed. That's the way he felt. Our fathers fled from the rage of prelatical tyranny and persecution and came into this land to enjoy liberty of conscience, and they have increased to a great people. Could I see a spirit of repentance and reformation prevail through the land, I should not have the slightest apprehension of fear of being brought under the iron rod of slavery. What is he saying? When this is absent, when repentance and reformation is absent in the land, you can be sure of the iron rod coming. That's what he's saying. Even though all the powers of the globe were combined against us, and though I confess that the irreligion and profaneness which are so common amongst us give something of a damp to my spirits, yet I cannot help hoping and even believing that Providence has designed this continent for to be the asylum of liberty and true religion. When we consider, by Chauncey Winsley, New Haven, Connecticut, 1778, In the rise and in the whole progress of unnatural controversy between Great Britain and the now united independent American states, the hand of God has been, I must think, very conspicuous. When we consider the remarkable union of 13 disconnected and many of them distant provinces, and the spirit which burst forth like a flame nearly at the same time in all parts of the land. Somebody says, well, how are you going to know, preacher? If we have to do something, how are you going to know? We'll know. Disconnected colonies.